order to do well in SAT math tests, it's very important that you review the basic math skills. Okay? Now, listed in this book on the algebra section, you see that there are some equations there, different types of equations that they are used in SAT math tests. They have solving quadratic equations, solving rational equations, solving radical equations, and so on. Basically, I use the book for JC Complete Review for SAT Math Test, the 2011 version. Okay, now, do not be intimidated by all these big terms here because I'm going to explain to you and teach you how to solve each one of them. There will be video lessons for each one of them. And today I'm going to cover section 5, okay, how to solve quadratic equations. Okay, let's start. Now, I'm going to explain to you first what is a quadratic equations. I give you some example. Now, you see in both of these equations that they have the highest power of a variable raised to 2. So that's the quadratic equations, okay? I'll show you what is not quadratic equation. This is not a quadratic equation because the x is raised to the power 3, or x minus 9 equal to 0. This is not a quadratic equations as well. Okay, good. Now we know quadratic equations is equations the highest power is raised to 2. Okay, let's do some of the problems. I'm going to start to teach you how to solve these things here. 9x squared minus 4 equal to 32. Now, we want to, when solve equation, we want to keep the variable in one side and move all the number to the other side. So this is how you do it. You say 9x squared equal to 32, and you move this 4 over. When you move something over, just like crossing a river, so you change signs, remember that. So it becomes plus 4. Okay, so right now we have 9x squared equal to 36. Now, to solve equation means they want x equal to something. They don't want 9x squared. So we have to make it into x. So first we get rid of that 9 by dividing both sides by 9. Okay? So we have x squared equal to 4. Right? And then we want to take the square root to get x. If you take the square root on both sides, so you have x equal to plus 2 or negative 2. Okay? So that's how you solve the simple quadratic equations. Now, I want to say one more thing, very simple things here. Your equations, for example, plus 4 equal to 0. Or you have x squared minus 9 equal to 0. This one here, you have 3 terms. So we call it trinomials. This one here, we have 2 terms. So it's binomials. Okay? So for this one here, basically it's binomial because we basically have 2 terms. Okay? So that's how you solve this kind of equations. Okay? Okay. If you have question like this, they give you quadratic equations and ask you what is the product of the solutions of 2x. Products mean, for example, if your x, the answer is 2 and x is equal to 3, so the products of the 2 of them will be 6. 2 times 3 equal to 6, so that's the answer. Okay, I'm just giving an example here. Okay. Some of you try to learn the strategies by guessing, by plugging in the solution into the equation, try to guess which one is the answer. Now, definitely you see this one will not work by plugging in the answer. That's why it's very important that you actually learn how to solve the equations, okay? So I'm going to show you how to solve this one here. So you have from the beginning plus 3 squared minus 6 equal to 66. So what do you think should be the first step to do? Now, remember we want to keep the variable in one side and move the number to the other side. So this is the first thing we do. Move this number across, okay? Remember when you move across, what do you need to do? Change the sign. Okay, so we have what is the next thing we should do? Yeah, we should divide both sides by 2 to get rid of that 2, okay? So we divide it by 2, divided by 2. So we leave with x plus 3 squared equal to 36. Now what should we do next? Yes, we need to take the square root, okay? We want to get rid of that square. So we do the square root. So we have x plus 3 equal to positive 6. Square root of 36 is 6, right? Or negative 6. Okay, so there are two answers there. So to find out what x is actually equal to, x could be equal to 6, the positive 6, minus 3, because when I move over, it becomes minus, so it's 3. And the next one is x equal to the negative 6, negative 3. When I move over, it becomes negative 3. It's negative 9. So x equal to 3 and x equal to negative 9 are the two solutions of this equations here, but they want the product. So we just multiply 3 by negative 9. So we have 27, negative 27. Okay, so that's our answer here. See that? That's how you solve this kind of equation in SAT test. Okay, good. Let's do next one. Here is another question. If x squared plus 6x minus 27 equal to 0, what is the sums of the two solutions of x? Again, you can see that doing plug in into this equation, try to guess the solution doesn't work. That's why it's very, very important that you actually learn this, the actual solving skills, okay? Now, here is another quadratic equation with 3 terms. So we call it trinomials, okay? To solve these equations, the trinomial, this is how you do it. You need to factor it. To factor it, mean this. I'm going to start with the constant term. This number there, pull it out here, say negative 27. So try to find two possible factors. You know that 3 times negative 9 will give me negative 27, or negative 3 multiplied by positive 9, negative 27 as well. So we want to pick up pairs that will give me this, by adding the two numbers there, will give me the number of the middle term. Okay? For example, if I add these two together, I will get negative 6. If I get these two together, I will get positive 6. Because the middle term is positive 6, that's why I want to pick this pair here. Okay? So this pair is chosen. So this is how you do it. X minus 3 and x plus 9 equal to 0. So this is the skills of how you factor the binomial, the trinomials. Okay, good. Now, so what is the answer? So the solution for the equations become x equal to 3 is one of them. and x equal to negative 9 is another one. Okay, so they want the sum. That means you add together of these two solutions. 3 plus negative 9 give me negative 6. Okay, so B is the answer. Okay, okay, so you see this is how you factor trinomials. Okay, once you factor it, you are able to find the answer, and then you can proceed to find the solution that they want. Okay, good. I'm going to summarize about solving quadratic equations, the skills that you already learned. One is for binomial and the other one is trinomial. In trinomials, you basically have three terms: the x squared term, the x term, and the constant term, okay? But in binomial, look at this one. You might think you have four terms. Actually, you only have two terms. You only have the x squared terms, those two together, and the constant term, and the x term is missing, okay? So to solve the binomial kind of quadratic equations, remember what we did before? All we need to do is first bring the x over, okay? I want to keep all the x on one side. And then bring this number over. Remember, when you cross over, change sign. This 4 become negative 4 become positive 4 plus x become plus x squared become negative x squared. So I have 4x squared here and 36, and divided both sides by 4 to get rid of the 4. So I have x squared equal to 9. Now, in binomial, the skills basically is we just take the square root, okay? So x is equal to plus 3 or negative 3, okay? Good, so that's for binomial. And for trinomial, remember we learned it before, we just factor them. Okay, I just go through it quickly. So the factor for that one is x minus 8. And x plus 2, if you remember, because minus 16, you factor it, minus 8 and 2. When you multiply together, you got minus 16. And then when you subtract them, you got minus 6. So your x is equal to positive 8, and your x also equal to negative 2. Okay, so that's the skills to do solving quadratic equations. So there are many practice questions that you can practice from page 73 on this book. Okay, good.